Now we are going to implement the login functionality. In the previous video, we have implemented the sign up feature. Now we're going to implement the login functionality. I'm going to create a new route in the user's controller. Let's create a login route or sign in route, whatever you want to use. I can say login. We also need to create a new method inside the user service, the login method. I'm gonna open the user service. Let's define the method async login. It's gonna take a login response DTO or login request DTO. I can say login DTO. We did not create that login DTO yet. Login DTO, and that is it. Instead of create user DTO, it's gonna pass login DTO. Login DTO. Now we need to create a new data transfer object. The name should be login DTO. When user will send the login request, he's gonna send the email and the password. In the create user DTO, I can say login-dto.ts file. So I'm gonna copy some of the code from create user DTO and I'm gonna paste it here. I only need email and the password. So get rid of everything, because when user will send the login request, he must need to provide email and the password. So remove all of the extra dependencies. It should be login DTO. Now I can use that here in the controller. In the user's controller, I can use login DTO. We need to import that login DTO. Let's call it here login DTO. Now I can receive login DTO here. Now we need to write the pseudocode for the login. Let's say what we're gonna do. First of all, we need to find user based on email. If there is no user, we can send unauthorized exception. Like you are not logged in, or email is not correct, or password is not correct. We did not check the password yet. What we need to do, we need to decrypt the user password. Then we need to match the user provided password with decrypted password. If password is not matched, then send the error, invalid password or unauthorized exception. If everything is matched, we need to return a JSON Web Token in the response. What this JSON Web Token will do, it will help user to authenticate protected routes. Let's find the user. I can say that user await. We can use prisma.user. There is a find first method. You can use that. The criteria should be based on email. I can say email login dto.email. If there is no user, we have to send the unauthorized exception. I can say throw new unauthorized exception. That is it. Now we need to decrypt the password. I'm going to use external module. Nest.js provides JWT service. It's a JWT service Nest.js. This JWT service provides a functions to create token. So we must need to install the package to use that. Here we need to do we need to install the package first. This one. Let's install it. What this package will provide, it's the module. It will have a JWT service. Here we have JWT service. And we need to import this module. To use that, we need to import this module into our users module. We cannot use the JWT service without importing the JWT module here. You can say that imports, it's an array. We need to import JWT module. Let's import it here. Global should be registered global. We need to create a constant file. What we have to do, let's create a constants.ts file inside the users. Constants.ts, and I can copy that. Here you can use your own secret, anything you like. It should be any your secret key here. I can say anything. While registering, we can import constants. So this is, we are registering dynamic module. You can use JWT service in any module. Now this module will do, it will help us to use a JWT service inside the users service. So now I can import here inside the user service. I can import a JWT service. I can say JWT service, that is it. If I did not do that, it will not allow me to import JWT service. What this JWT service has, this service has method sign async, asynchronous method, sign async, verify async, decode. We're gonna use a sign async method. We also need to create a decrypt user password. I can create another method. I can say decrypt password, plain text, and the hash. And here we have decrypt.compare. Compare method will take two arguments. The first one is data, plain text, and the second one is encrypted hash, plain text, and the hash. Let's use the method here to decrypt the user password. I can say is matched decrypt password. We need to provide the user password, what I got from the login dto.password, and the second argument we need to provide the hash, the encrypted password we saved in the database. Now we need to check that if not matched, we need to throw unauthorized exception. Invalid password. You can also send the message, anything you like. Invalid password. If everything is matched, then we need to use JWT service package service class to create a JSON Web Token. Let's do that. JWT service dot sign async. Here we need to define the payload, what you wanna do, what you wanna save. Inside the token, I need to save the email of the user, and we also need to save the ID user.id. And you can define the duration when the token will be expired. I can set the 1 day. You can also set the 1 hour, 2 hour, depends on your scenario. You can also set the couple of seconds. I'm gonna set the 1 day. This token will be expired after a day. It's gonna give me the access token, and we need to return this access token in the response. That is it. Why it is yelling at me? Providing the token payload. We have to provide options in this way. Algorithm or expires in, I can say 1 day. Now that looks good. So you can also set return type of this one. I can say string, or you can create object with a string type. Let's return the object access token. Now we need to test that. Let's run the application. Npm run start dev. My application is running now. Let's send the API request for the login. Let's send the login request. We need to provide the username, email and the password. Let's test it out. I got the access token. We have successfully logged in. If I provide the invalid email, what will happen? I got unauthorized error back. If I provide a valid email and invalid password, what it is gonna do? Invalid password. You can see the error here. So we successfully implemented the authentication, login, authentication. Now our next part, what if we create protected route? How can you do that? Let's say your application will have profile route. Only authenticated user can access this route. Let's say user/profile, get profile. Only authenticated user can access that. It should be get endpoint. So how can you do that? How can you do that? Return something here. So Nest.js provides guards. If you worked with Angular, the same concept it's going to be used here. We need the auth guard to protect our private routes. Let's do that. So we need to create a new guard inside the users. I can say Nest generate guard inside the users, the name of the guard, which is auth. Now the auth guard has been created inside the users. They have the auth, and we have the auth guard. Now it's time to use the auth guard. You can also place here inside the users, get rid of the auth. Let's implement the auth guard. It will run as a middleware. I can apply here auth guard. Can say that I can find how can you apply that. Use guard. Nest.js provides a decorator to implement the guard on a controller method. Use guards. Here you will provide the auth guard. First, it's gonna call this function, the auth guard. If user is not authenticated, if you provide the invalid token, it's gonna return the error, and this API endpoint will not run. So you can get the request like user request. I think I need request from here, nest common, and let me import, and I can return request.user. While creating the token, I have set the user property here. I'll set the user property in the auth guard. Yeah, let's do it here. First of all, we need to get the request. I can use switch HTTP and get the request. It's a plain request object, and I'm gonna create a new method. Extract token from header. You will provide the token in this way. Let's duplicate that route. I'm gonna access my profile, so we are gonna create the profile endpoint. I don't need to provide any body. What I will do, I will provide the token here we got from like this one. Let's say I'm gonna provide the valid email and password. Oops, what's wrong? Let's start it. My application is running now. Let's send the request for the login. So I got the access token. To access the protected route, we need to provide the token in the header in this way. Authorization. This is the pattern like a community is using to access the protected route. So I got we did not implement the token yet, that's why I got this one, because it ran this one. Let's say if I log that, auth guard runs, because we are returning true from here, but it's going to give me the message. I just want to see the log. You can see auth guard runs. First, it's gonna run this method auth guard. It's kind of middleware. If you have worked with Express.js, this is the middleware. We need to create this method. I'm gonna copy that and let me paste it here. It's a private method. It's not a MDN. We need to export it from the Express. So I have provided this one authorization header. I'm trying to access it here. I'm splitting the empty spaces. When you do in this way, the empty space and a token, it's gonna convert into the array. I can show you in the Chrome DevTools. Let me open the console and I can say my token. Oh, it's a string. Now I would like to split it here on a space. It's gonna give me the array. You can see the first argument is type, which is barrier, and the second argument is token. So I can also do that, type token and token dot split with the space. I can access the type. You can see barrier. I can access the token. This is, we have used this one. This one is used for TypeScript. If you did not provide the token, it's gonna return the empty array. Here we are doing some check. If type is equals to barrier, return token, otherwise return undefined. We also need to add the check. If there is a no token, it's gonna return the unauthorized exception. Please provide the token. If I will not provide token here, it's gonna give me the error message unauthorized. If I provide the token, everything is good so far. Now we need to verify the token we have provided. You need a JWT service to do that. We need to import into the constructor JWT service. We also need to import JWT secrets. Now we have the payload. Now I wanna save the user property into the request. We need to make it async. So get rid of this observable. It's gonna return a simple boolean value. Get rid of this one. So promise with boolean. First, please get the request from this context. Extract the token. You can see that I got the token. If there is a no token, send the unauthorized error. The token I have provided here, please verify that token, the constant we saved here with secret. If everything is good, we need to save the payload in the request.user property. Here I can access the request.user. While creating the token, you should see I saved email and the ID. What will happen if I send the request profile? I got the email and the ID because we saved email and the ID while creating the token. The token will be expired after a day. This is how you implement the authentication and protect the protected routes in Nest.js. If you have any question, you can leave the comments.